Don't shout so much. Nay is really shocked by the fact that Lauren is gone too. It's a good opportunity, so as promised, I plan to go camping to console her.
My husband Adonis decides to go camping with his sister Nayeli without preparing or attending the funeral of our daughter who passed away in a traffic accident. Frustrated by his indifference, I allowed it. However, as they head for their trip, they end up losing many things. I'm a 36-year-old working at a food factory, currently living with my husband and my 12-year-old daughter.
Since middle school, I've been wishing to graduate early, become an adult, and do lots of shopping. I love.
Due to this, I had no inclination to go to college and smoothly joined my current company at the age 18. A few years after joining, my department changed, and being inexperienced with many unfamiliar tasks, I was struggling.
Adonis supported and encouraged me when I was down due to increased mistakes from lack of confidence. Camilla, let's finish up for today once that task is done.
Alright, so any plans after work? Well, not really. On days with mistakes, he often invited me to dinner after work. Of course, he provided work-related advice, but he also lifted my spirits with humorous, light-hearted stories.
Life is a series of failures for everyone. There's no use worrying about every little thing. He always understood my feelings saying such things.
Certainly, he doesn't seem to care, even if pointed out something by supervisors or managers. It appears to provoke even more anger from higher-ups. While there were moments of anxiety watching him like that, I was drawn to his positive and quickly adaptable nature. One day, he changed departments, and during that time he formally asked out and we started dating. Despite the separation of departments, our relationship remained unchanged, and after a few years of dating, we got married.
Hey, how about getting a cat? Shortly after marriage, my husband made this proposal. He knew I liked cats, so he suggested it to ensure I wouldn't feel lonely when alone at home.
Grateful for his kindness, we decided to live with a cat. I've never had a pet before, but they're really cute. It's amazing how they welcome you when you come home. I was surprised by how much he cared for the cat, beyond my expectations. Perhaps being inherently kind-hearted, the cat sensed it. We welcomed the cat into our family, enjoying a happy newlywed life. But such a life didn't last long. One day, returning from work, there was no welcome from the cat. Normally he would come running even if asleep when called. But that day, he didn't show up. Wondering what happened, I entered the room and found him lying limp at the edge of the living room. Hurriedly taking him to the hospital. He had apparently suffered a heart attack, and we were told tonight might be critical. Sadly, he passed away that same day, not even a year into becoming part of our family. Why does such a painful thing happen? While I was unable to overcome the grief, Adonis unexpectedly said,
Both pets and humans have life. It's not strange for them to pass away. If it's gone, let's get a new cat.
I was left in astonishment by my husband's cheerful and lively expression as if nothing has happened. While I was still crying and hadn't even sorted out my feelings, he was enthusiastically planning to get a new pet. I had to ask him to stop, finding it shocking how quickly he shifted gears. I know that he is quick to switch gears. However, people have emotions and feelings, right? Lately, I've started feeling uneasy about his frequent shifts in mood. A year later, our long-awaited first child, Lauren, was born. We as a couple were overjoyed, of course. However, she was born premature, and due to slow growth and a delicate constitution, she couldn't play outside much. This seemed to affect her, making her shy and struggling to fit in with others. I blamed myself every day for giving birth to her prematurely, wondering if things would have been different if she were born healthy. Unable to shake off my troubled feelings, I turned to Adonis for advice.
There's no point worrying about that now, right? If you give it time, Lauren will grow bigger. We just have to wait.
His reply seemed indifferent, treating it like someone else's problem. He showed no affection towards Lauren, and my unsettled feelings persisted. My husband has a younger sister, though not by blood. She is the stepdaughter of his father's remarried younger wife, and just entered middle school this year. Her name is Nayeli. My husband seems to adore her even more than Lauren. She is healthy, lively, and very sociable. quite the opposite of Lauren. Adonis is fond of her, frequently visiting his parents' house to see her. Lauren, due to dietary therapy, grew up to be a lively girl, just like any other child her age. She's articulate too. Dad, on days off, let's not just laze around. Let's go somewhere.
Oh, Lolly, are you saying things like that now?
You are so small, and it's amusing.
Come on, Dad. I'm serious.
Sorry.
Around that time, my husband finally began showing affection to Lauren. While I often felt frustrated with him for not helping me when I was going through difficult times, I now feel happy seeing the smiles of the two of them. Perhaps back then, he didn't know how to handle his fragile and shy daughter. Reflecting on the passage of time, forming a father-daughter relationship between them, it feels profoundly moving. As Lauren started playing, Adonis introduced her to Nayeli, who is close in age, and they began playing together. Recently, it seems the three of them went shopping together. Hey, I want the same thing as Nay.
When you grow up,
You're younger than her, so be patient. While Lauren and Nayeli get along very well, it's impossible for such young children to understand such matters. Lauren seemed to feel dissatisfaction with my husband, who dotes on Nayeli more than her. In everything, it's Nayeli first, leaving his own daughter aside. This was something that bothered me for a long time. Naturally, children can sense such things. Eventually, Lauren developed a competitive spirit against Nayeli, and her personality gradually became similar, transforming into a lively and cheerful character. She must have wanted to be liked by her father very much. By the time she entered elementary school, she became a popular figure reigning over her class. Lauren, who was so small and frail, in any case, I felt proud of my daughter's growth. When she reached the 5th grade, I received a call from the school while working, as usual.
Camilla Lauren was involved in an accident.
What?
After that, I couldn't hear the details of the call. My mind went blank, and I headed to the hospital where Lauren was taken. According to the homeroom teacher, during an off-campus learning activity, Lauren sacrificed herself to protect a friend who was about to be hit by a car. Facing Lauren, she did not speak, breathe, or open her eyes. No. Molly Lolly, open your eyes. Respond. No matter how many times I called, Lauren didn't move. As I stood there in shock, my husband rushed in from work. He was talking to me, but I couldn't hear a thing. In front of me, a silent world unfolded. Amidst the grief, there was no time to immerse myself. I had to discuss the funeral arrangements with the undertaker for Lauren. However, Adonis stated that he's going camping with Nayeli, and he couldn't attend the funeral or the arrangements. What? What are you saying? There's a funeral for Lauren. The final farewell is waiting. Yeah, I get it. But I made a promise to Nay, so what can I do?
I made a promise to Nay, so what can I do?
Is he saying this with a clear mind? I've never heard of a father who, when told that his daughter lost her life and a funeral is imminent, decides to go camping with his stepsister. Hey, enough already. You can go camping some other time, right? Can't you even properly mourn your own daughter? I shouted with a voice that felt like it could tear my throat apart. However, don't shout so much.
Nay is also deeply shocked by Lauren's passing. It's the right opportunity, so I plan to go camping to comfort her, as promised.
Anger surged from the depths of my stomach, threatening to erupt from the top of my head. Besides, didn't I inform you about this at the hospital on the day Lauren passed away?
You didn't say anything, did you?
At that time, we shouldn't have had any conversation. But come to think of it, in that state of shock, he said something to me. Could it be that in front of Lauren's lifeless body he was discussing camping?
At times like this, it's the only opportunity to take a substantial break. It's a good chance to go camping with her. Besides, isn't the living more important than the dead?
Because of his unintentional words, I felt not just anger, but also deep disappointment. Despite our beloved daughter's death, he didn't grieve, shed a tear, and to top it off, he chose to go camping with his stepsister? It was beyond comprehension. I felt nauseated by the unsettling nature of his feelings. Fine. Go camping or wherever you want. I said that and stormed out. Still, somewhere deep in my heart, I had hoped that he would come to Lauren's funeral, saying to himself I was wrong. However, that wish vanished into thin air, and my husband and Nayeli went off on a camping trip instead. In the sorrow of losing Lauren and the disappointment towards Adonis, I found myself at the lowest point in this world. I explained about Adonis and Nayeli to their parents, who attended the funeral, but they said, "We sincerely express our condolences to Lauren."
We sincerely express our condolences for Lauren. Parents-in-law Camilla, I'm truly sorry. Camilla, I'm truly sorry. Please don't blame him for going out with Nay.
In his own way.
He was probably trying to cheer her up.
Even their parents, in their excessive fondness for Nayeli, spoke like this. Even though we lost a life in our family, something was seriously wrong with these parents and children. I had run out of patience with my husband and his relatives. Living with such indifferent and disconnected people was something I could not bear. I decided at that moment to divorce him when he returned from the camp. However, he didn't come back even after the camp ended, and I received only a phone call.
Hey, it's me. While we were camping, Nay started her summer vacation, so I thought I'd take her to the sea. Is that okay?
I thought it was ridiculous, but I had no energy to get angry anymore. I just told him to do as he pleased and hung up. It was 13 days after Lauren's passing. As I stared blankly at the portrait, my smartphone suddenly rang. It was from their parents.
Is this Camilla? Parents-in-law, is this Camilla? Addie and Nay were in a traffic accident on their way back from the sea.
What?
They informed me that both of them had been taken to the hospital. Honestly, it didn't matter to me, but since we were still legally married, I decided to go to the hospital to see how they were doing. Adonis had injuries all over his body, while Nayeli, though not in critical condition, had suffered a severe injury to her face, leaving permanent scars that would never fade. When I arrived at the hospital, Adonis's father's yelling echoed through the hallway from the treatment room.
You.
How could you hurt Nay's body so much?
I was just trying to cheer her up. It was an accident, so it can't be helped.
For her injuries, let's all reboot our mind. Hurting a girl's face, and you think it's okay to just move on? You can't expect a wounded heart to switch so easily.
It was the usual husband, quick to switch to a positive outlook. That's what I would usually say. But at this point, it was clear that my husband was anything but normal.
Parents-in-law, don't joke. You hurt our precious Nayeli's face.
Don't joke. You hurt our precious Nayeli's face.
I'll never forgive you. Parents-in-law, I'll never forgive you. Never come near her again. Got it?
Huh? The wounds can be healed from now on.
It's only now that his father seemed to realize the abnormality of Adonis, and he declared a sort of relationship break-off. My husband, noticing me quietly listening to the conversation, came to me seeking salvation.
Milla, did you come? I did my best to make Nay happy, but they blame me. It's strange, right? Milla, tell my parents something too. I want to continue going to their house and see Nay.
What on earth is he saying? Shouldn't we be mourning Lauren instead of caring for Nay? No funeral preparations, no attendance, not even a single prayer for Lauren. Without hesitation, I handed divorce papers to Adonis.
Want to go to your parents' house? Want to see Nay? Do it. Whatever you decide to do. It doesn't concern me anymore, because I have no intention of living with you. Now sign the divorce documents right here, right now.
Wait a minute. Why all of a sudden? Why do I have to divorce you?
Why? It's simple. Because you don't understand why. I can't live the rest of my life with someone who won't attend our own daughter's funeral.
Camilla, it's pointless to mumble about the past, isn't it? What's wrong with everyone? We're all adults, so we should switch your mindset when it's necessary.
I was utterly amazed. He completely misunderstood the meaning of switching.
You're not switching. You're just irresponsibly avoiding everything. That's why you can act so arrogantly. To Adonis, who refused to admit his fault, I said firmly.
Yet he, not acknowledging any wrongdoing, continued to argue. In this unresolvable situation, there was a moment of silence. And then, shocked by the fact that the scars remained, Nayeli, who had been silent until then, spoke.
Disgusting. I don't want to see your face ever again. Don't even want to remember it. Please just disappear from my sight.
Weak and sorrowful, her words conveyed a strong anger toward her brother.
Oh, I was wrong. I'm sorry. I'll change from now on, so please forgive me for what happened before. Please. If not, I'll end up all alone.
While Adonis knelt on the bed, apologizing to everyone, none accepted it. Instead of forgiveness, his parents broke off their relationship with Adonis and kicked him out of the hospital. Kicked him out of the hospital. Ironically, there was no need for him to be hospitalized. Afterward, the divorce with him was successfully finalized. Although he apologized to me, there was no sign of him visiting Lauren's grave, and he even made a bewildering comment to Nayeli, suggesting, "Why don't you get plastic surgery for your face? Where's the merit in accepting an apology like that?" It was clear to everyone, including me and his families, that he wasn't genuinely reflecting on his actions. So forgiving him wasn't an option. Despite the abnormal speed with which he had recovered and switched gears in the past, it seemed that losing his parents, wife, daughter, and sister all at once was a shock he couldn't overcome. He hadn't truly understood what he had done wrong, didn't know how to improve, and ended up drowning in alcohol and getting repeatedly fired from jobs due to workplace troubles. He now faces a lifetime of solitude, walking a miserable path that he brought upon himself. On the other hand, while I continue my work, I provide aftercare for those who have lost their families in traffic accidents, with the memory of the late Lauren alive. My efforts have become a source of support for many. From my own experience, I emphasize the importance of both recovering and adapting to change, as well as continuing to cherish the memories of those who have passed away.